I ain't supposed to
I
start.
missed the whole night, girl, looking at my phone.
From day to night, packing outfits for every part of your itinerary. Grabbing brunch, throw on the
I'm
A&F
listening.
Mila dress. Then head to your dinner reservation in their new bubble hem mini dress. And yes, permission to overpack for pics with the girls. Abercrombie's best-selling Scarlet Squirt deserves a post in your feed. Your plans are worth it. Shop Abercrombie's new long weekend collection online or in store.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. It's tax season, and we're all a bit tired of numbers. But here's one you need to hear. $16.5 billion. That's how much the IRS flagged for possible identity fraud last year. Now here's a good number. 100 million. That's how many data points LifeLock monitors every second. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it, guaranteed. Save up to 40% your first year at LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
Hey there, it's International Women's Day, and we wanted to celebrate the game changers and record breakers.
It's great that the women are getting their chance to kind of even everything up and be more recognized in the market.
We'll highlight one industry where women are doing better than men for a change. Plus, from a 10-year-old girl making sports history to a tribal chief fighting for cleaner water, these stories you'll hear prove that when women rise, we all win. From CNN, I'm Krista Bowe, and this is a special edition of 5 Good Things. All right, I want you to take a second and think of a woman who shaped who you are today. I'm willing to bet a lot of you pictured your mom, or your grandma, or someone who felt like that to you. Those women poured everything into us, and I'm sure they'll tell you motherhood is a wild and beautiful ride, full of love, sacrifice, and making it up as you go, especially in those blurry postpartum days.
When my son was just a baby, just a few weeks old, I found myself in a reality of either nursing or pumping or thinking about nursing and pumping. It was my new reality as I tried to keep this tiny human alive and fed. And I found it incredibly overwhelming and so isolating.
As a mother of 2 young children, Amy Van Haren was balancing work and motherhood. In 2015, she was about to board a red-eye back to Maine from San Francisco.
And I was sitting on a very dirty, sticky bathroom floor in the San Francisco airport, hooked up to a breast pump that was sounding like Darth Vader. And I was just beside myself, wanting to quit both breastfeeding and my job and everything. And in that moment, the one thing that saved me was a text from my sister checking in. a light bulb went off for me.
That moment turned into a movement to uplift and support new and expecting mothers across the country. In 2016, she co-founded an app called Pump Spotting, where mothers can virtually connect and tell stories, ask questions, and raise concerns with each other and experts.
We're making it easy for mothers to get the information, the education, the experts they need so that they feel seen and supported at every step of the way.
They then wanted to meet mothers where they were physically. So Amy bought a 40-foot-long RV, painted it bright teal, and hit the road in 2018, meeting thousands of women in dozens of cities at places like hospitals, parks, and eventually even outside NASA's Space Center in Houston.
And that was the first of what will now be 4 tours in 2025. So she is lovingly called Barb, the boob bus. We call her the Breast Express. And, you know, she really feels like a tiny home. Welcome aboard. You step on board and there is a space to sit and connect with other moms, complete with lots of boob pillows and graphics and comforts of home. It's a space to get what you need and be who you are, to be seen, and to just have a moment of real joy. Thanks, Barb. Oh, love you.
They've partnered with advocacy group Chamber of Mothers for this year's tour, kicking off in July, hitting more stops than ever.
Since we started Pump Spotting, we have supported moms through more than 3.5 million feeds. And so I feel incredibly proud.
So when I was researching stories to highlight for this episode, I thought to myself, how cool would it be if there was an industry or a field to spotlight where women are doing just as well, if not outperforming men? And good news, there is.
Women have achieved sales value parity with men in the African art market. It started in 2023 and it's continued into 2024, which to me shows a really positive trend.
That's Lindsay Dewar. She's the COO of Art Tactic, a London-based art market research and data analytics firm.
What's great is that we are seeing diversification and we're seeing that there's a desire to kind of look in different locations, to investigate different areas of the market that people may not know, and to kind of own a broader range of artists.
Last year, Lindsay said African women artists made up 53% of total African art auction sales, worth $22 million, with Ethiopian American artist Julie Maratu leading the way. It's not just about the big bucks, it's about representation too. More women than ever are having their work at auctions next to heavy hitters in the contemporary art world, like Andy Warhol and Pablo Picasso.
So over the last decade, we've seen a growth of nearly 130% of the number of women artists that are being sold at auction. And this is a trend that's been mimicked in the African art market as well. So in 2024, there were over 450 individual women artists of African descent sold at auctions.
So will this trend continue? 2025 is already off to a good start.
Ladies and gentlemen, showing here in the room, works by the South African-born and London-based artists, of course, are very rare to market. And I'm going to start here at £800,000, at 800,000, 850.
Earlier this week at Sotheby's auction house in London, a South African artist named Lisa Bryce set a personal record with the sale of her painting called After Emba.
And it's this amazing, huge canvas in these red tones. Nicki Minaj is referenced in the painting, so it's a really kind of contemporary celebration of women and challenging the male gaze.
Hey, do you talk? Yes, I talk. I was on the phone.
Hey, do you talk? Yes, I talk.
Why is my... I just bought a little stand and this stupid stand keeps falling. Hey. Yes, I was on the phone. I'm about to eat some, and then I'm gonna build this. I'm gonna put my desk together. I'm watching Little Martin right now. Hey, Bunny. The day is going well. How's your day? I'm eating some eggs. That's what's up. I'm sitting on the floor because I gotta put this desk together. And it looked like I have a lot of pieces. Yeah, eggs, and I have a little piece of bacon, some bacon. Well, I don't want to put it together. I wish it just come put together. Thank you, Bunny.
Take your plans out of the group chat and get long weekend ready in new Abercrombie. From day to night, pack new outfits for every part of your itinerary. Grabbing brunch, throw on the A&F Mila dress. Then head to your dinner reservation.
Well, thank you for stopping through.
Hem mini dress. And yes, permission to overpack.
You have an
for
awesome
pics with
day.
the girls.
Thank you.
Abercrombie's best-selling Scarlet Skirt deserves a post in your feed. Your plans are worth it. Shop Abercrombie's new long weekend collection online or in store.
Hey there, did you know today, March 1st, is National Share a Smile Day? So consider it your reminder to pass on some good vibes. I'll go first.
You only get one chance of doing this.
An iconic ship is on its way to becoming the world's largest home of its kind for fish, turtles, sharks, and more. Plus,
medically, I don't have an answer as far as how this cat survived that ordeal. She is a miracle cat.
why this beloved family cat is living her best ninth life. From CNN, I'm Krista Beckle, and this is 5 Good Things.
I cannot thank that team enough for what they did, not only for him, but for me and my family.
The
I'll be
world's
back.
smallest pacemaker, no larger than the size of a large vitamin, saved a newborn baby's life. Sarah and Michael Oliveri from Long Island, New York, learned at her 20-week ultrasound ultrasound that their third son, Mikey, had a rare and dangerous heart condition called congenital complete heart block.
Oh, wow.
And what we mean by heart block is when you think about the electrical system of the heart, everything comes from the top portion of the heart, and then it has to get to the middle of the heart down to the bottom. And so that electrical connection was disrupted. So when you cancer that disruption, and slow these levels. Part of the team of doctors at Hassenfeld Children's Hospital and NYU Langone Health that treated Mikey. This is a pretty rare condition. It's 1 in 20,000 live births, and not even everyone that has this condition will need a pacemaker right away.
But it became clear after Mikey was born over a month early on December 5th, he needed him as soon as possible. His heart rate
I gotta roll to get up.
per minute, far from a baby's normal 130 to 150. And at 5 pounds and 5 ounces, he was too small for a standard pacemaker. So doctors had to get creative. They sought emergency FDA approval to transform a kind of pacemaker meant for adults. The transformed device is as light as a penny and will temporarily fit in his small body and get him home sooner.
We were like, wow, that's quite something. I think that technology has come this far that we can put something that small, and that effective into an infant's body.
The surgery took place on December 17th. And after a few weeks in the hospital, Sarah and Mikey were sent home on January 2nd, 2 days before his original due date. And he finally got to meet his older brothers, 5-year-old Anthony and 3-year-old Johnny, for the first time.
There's been 52 implants throughout the US, so he's one of those few babies that's gotten this device. And then he gets maybe 3-4 years out of this device, and by that time he'll be much bigger, and we could implant a traditional device.
Mikey celebrates his 3-month birthday next Wednesday, and Mom and Dad say he's doing great.
Pretty much coming home and being able to live a normal life was a blessing. He's close to 8 pounds now, so he's eating well, he's growing. Just started, smiling without it being like a reflex. So he's doing really well.
America makes her bid for the Atlantic Blue Ribbon as the biggest and fastest liner built in the United States.
In its heyday, the SS United States broke the transatlantic speed record back in 1952, crossing the Atlantic Ocean from New York City to Cornwall, England in 3 days, 10 hours, and 40 minutes. The iconic ship is bigger than the Titanic and almost as long as the Chrysler Building, and was equipped to transport a full division of 14,000 troops 10,000 miles without refueling. The Mona Lisa has even been a passenger. Now the ocean liner is embarking on its final voyage to set a new record by becoming the world's largest artificial reef off the coast of Florida Panhandle.
I've been a mariner my entire life, and I really get mixed emotions about seeing a vessel being strapped, but reefing is just such a wonderful way to do this.
World Satellite Television News spoke to Captain Joseph Farrell. He's a ship-sinking and artificial reef expert involved with this mission. Philadelphia had been home to the SS United States for nearly 3 decades until last Wednesday, when it was towed through the Delaware River on its way to Mobile, Alabama. Captain Farrell says that's where the ship will be prepared to properly sink into its watery grave, to become a home for fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
So this thing has to be done right, and the vessel deserves it. You only get one chance at doing this.
Florida's Okaloosa County is the storied ship's new owner, and officials there are thrilled to welcome the vessel as a historic addition to their collection of hundreds of artificial reefs. Coral reefs support vibrant marine ecosystems and act as natural barriers against storms. But natural reefs have been suffering from the effects of climate change. So artificial ones, like the SS United States in the Gulf, and retired New York City and Atlanta subway cars submerged off the East Coast, can throw underwater ecosystems a lifeline. If you love your job, you never have to work a day in your life. John Fabiano from Buffalo, New York, took that wisdom to heart and left the corporate world back in 2022 to pursue his passion. And so far, he's having a blast.
I'm in my mid-30s, I'm traveling around photographing dogs, and I couldn't be happier, having more fun.
He's a lifelong dog lover and says he's always been fascinated by the relationship between dogs and humans.
The way I treat my dog is much different than the way other people treat dogs around the world. So I wanted to get a glimpse of that, and also I look at dogs all the time as role models. Just their zest for life. I think they're models of forgiveness. So I wanted to get a glimpse of that.
So he saved up to buy a camera, took some classes, and in March of 2023, he took the leap. He got on a plane and started a project called Wags Around the World, where he photographs dogs in different countries.
I went to Germany for German Shepherds, Japan for Shibas, went to Greenland to see sled dogs, and I went to Australia to see cattle dogs and sheepdogs.
He also photographed wild dogs in South Africa, street dogs in India, and shelter dogs in the US, hoping that it might help them get adopted. He got so good at it, he won a 2024 Dog Photography Award in the documentary category for his photo of sled dogs in Greenland. If you want to check it out, the link is in our show notes. So what's next? John says he'd like to go to Scotland to take pictures of collies, and he's planning to relocate to Europe with his girlfriend and eventually write a book about his adventures. He says he'll probably have to rejoin the corporate workforce to make ends meet eventually, but this time, he won't put the camera down.
It's something that I'm going to do for the rest of my life. I'm so fascinated by it. It brings me so much joy and happiness, and it's something that I'll never stop doing.
Imagine a fuel source that could power cars and homes, but doesn't pollute the air. I'm talking about white hydrogen. This clean-burning gas could be a game changer in the fight against climate change.
The white hydrogen is hydrogen that's being generated by the earth instead of other types of hydrogen which we produce in factories, let's say. The great thing about white hydrogen is that there will be no pollution at all if you use this. If you burn hydrogen, you get energy and water.
Frank Schwann is a geologist at the University of Lucerne in Switzerland. He's the lead author of a new study published last week in Science Advances that maps out where we find natural hydrogen hotspots. Scientists have known this powerful green fuel existed within the Earth's crust for decades.
What is new is the realization that it might be around in larger quantities that we can use for energy in mountain ranges. So think about the Pyrenees and the Alps, the Balkans.
So why mountain ranges? All right, bear with me here. We're going to go back to geology class for a sec. White hydrogen forms in a few ways, but Frank focused on serpentinization, a natural process where water leaves iron-rich rocks from deep inside the earth, triggering a reaction that produces nitrogen gas. Tectonic shifts push the rocks closer to the surface, where water can reach them and create hydrogen.
By using subject models to understand what kind of tectonic situations we can have with these metal rocks close to the surface, and it turns out that this can be very nicely done in mountain ranges, where then the conditions are quite ideal for large-scale serpentinization and therefore large-scale generation of white hydrogen.
Using white hydrogen as a power source isn't just a theory. A small village in Mali has been using it to fuel their town since 2012. So now that Frank and his team have identified where to start looking, he says we could be decades away from extracting it and commercializing it.
At the same time, we know how things work.
You've got to be kidding me. A family is breathing a sigh of relief after finding their cat that went missing for several weeks on my
Ryan Reynolds here for Apple. Message for everyone who made wireless way too much. So I'm letting it go to this world. Maybe the one Anyway, give it a try at mobile.com/.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. Intro is for 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See full terms at mintmobile.com.
I'm CNN tech reporter Claire Devil. This week on the podcast, Terms of Service. A few months ago, I went to a lab to see how I would react to music. The lab is run by the head scientist for Lucid, a company that's trying to turn music into medicine. I think we're all familiar with how music can affect our emotions. But can AI-powered music technology actually help us feel better? Follow CNN's Terms of Service wherever you get your podcasts.
Sunny Lee is a beloved orange and white man and a member of the An affiliate PlayStation reports the family was preparing to move over 1,000 miles away from Walla Walla, Washington, his wife Kristen, and their 2 daughters moved into their new home in late December, and their furniture arrived about a month later. When they started to set up the hide-a-bed sofa, they did something unusual.
They ran to the garage area and said, "Oh yeah, you gotta check the couch.
All these
It's a
bubble
great chair,
papers.
kitty."
This is crazy. This has been 3 weeks. I reached in there, pulled out the hide bed, and I could see that there was a small little hole in the armrest where, the sound was kind of coming from.
A vet who treated Sunny said she has no idea how she survived for 3 weeks with no food or any water, trapped in the arm of a sofa.